Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the theater. I am Dr. John H. Watson. You've heard my name. Medical doctor and military man. But I know the reason you know my name most is because I am the author of several fascinating tales of crime and adventure, all featuring the remarkable exploits and almost preternatural skills of a most particular friend of mine. Now, you know I usually relay my stories to you in the written form, but as the holidays are hard upon us, and I am more than unusually hard up for cash this year, I thought what I'd do is, rather than wait for a publishing contract to come through and the check to be cut, which takes all sorts of time, I would simply rent out this theater and bring you here and charge you good money to hear me tell my tale. Now, do not fear. I am a rather experienced raconteur, and when I tell you my tale, so vivid shall be my description of the characters and the places that you shall see them as if they were actors on a stage. But before I go any further, I must tell you that the tale you are about to hear tonight is one that is not completely unknown to you. For you see, it is, as all my stories are, based on a real crime that happened right here in our fair city of London, just last year in the year 1892. And you are rather familiar with the details because the newspapers had spoken of it day after day after day. You know which crime I'm talking about, do you not? Yes, I'm sure you do. Yes? Of course you do. It was on everybody's lips for months and months. Well, what you don't know is that that crime was not, in fact, solved by Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard, even though the newspapers gave him credit for it. No, as is the wont of my particular friend, who eschews public credit. He allowed Lestrade to take the credit, but in fact, the case was solved by that special person. Now, for some time, I have been prohibited from telling you the true details of the case, for so many high personages and reputations are at stake. But now that everyone involved in the tale is either dead, in prison, or hopelessly insane, I am at last at liberty to reveal what really happened. So now, I shall conjure in my mind the people who populated this story, and as I promised you, so vividly shall I conjure them that you shall be able to see my cast of characters! Ah, yes. Now, I shall banish them to the the mythological realm of my imagination until death. Oh, but wait, I know what I'll do. I shall reconjure 4 of my characters. And we shall see how well you remember the story as you read it in the newspapers. For you shall look at these people and recognize them from the ink that was spilled about them. And you will be able to tell me, by looking at this gentleman here, you will be able to tell me what emotion, what passion fueled his every waking breath and movement.
Envy.
Yes. Envy. You. I'm imagining him really envious now. You will be able to look at this lady here, and you shall be able to tell me what position of great power and respect she held in the community.
Madam.
You can call me Mr. What did I hear over there?
Duchess.
Yes, the Madam Duchess. You could look at this lady here and tell me what crime she was convicted of as a young woman. Poisoning a frog? Yes! The mad amphibian poisoner of Fleet Street! And you could look at this gentleman here and tell me what object, what physical thing he keeps in his hands, on his person, at all times.
Medallion.
What was that?
Medallion.
A medallion, yeah. And now, since you know from reading all of my tales how I tend to title my stories, for example, The Adventure of the Missing Portrait, The Adventure of the Murdered Goat, The Adventure of the Crumpled Man. Knowing the tale as you do from the newspaper, what would be the right title for this story? Fill it in. The Adventure of the...
Frog Poisoner.
Of the what?
Frog Poisoner.
Of the Franquiziner. I don't believe I heard her correctly. Speak up, my dear. What did you say?
Frog Poisoner.
The Frog Poisoner! Well, that makes so much more sense than Franquiziner. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back. Hold on tight to someone you love. But only if you know them. For you are about to hear a tale of thrills, chills, action, romance, complete with
The man with the medallion.
The woman who has poisoned a frog. The woman who is the Madam Duchess.
And a man fueled by envy.
But of course, the tale would hardly be worth the telling if not for the singular contribution of my most remarkable friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Why, Holmes, I believe that's a smile I see upon your face. What makes you so merry this evening?
Watson, I was strolling down Baker Street when I perchanced upon a new tobacconist carrying a New World blend of which I am unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar, but Holmes, why, you wrote a monograph in which you identified 622 different types of tobacco.
So imagine my surprise and indeed my glee when a 623rd strain of the tobacco jumped into my bowl and happily was lit with my match.
Well, I suppose you'll have to rewrite your monograph, Holmes.
Indeed I shall. And that shall be a wonderful weekend, as it were.
You know, Holmes, speaking of tobacco, just the other day I was thinking of that tale that happened here in London all those many years ago about that young lady who was convicted for poisoning frogs in Fleet Street. What? Wasn't it tobacco that allowed you to figure out that case as well?
Indeed, it was a particular strain of tobacco that I registered came from the brothel.
Why, Holmes, whatever led you to the brothel in the first place?
Why, Watson, you never know what piece of knowledge might become intimately necessary for solving crimes. So there I was at the brothel, sampling various patrons cigars. Please sit down. Indeed. And, such as it were, I tried this peculiar blend, and it sprang into my mind, and I said, aha! I've had this blend before. It was when I was a young boy, and I loved to have that monocle of my grandfather's that I played with.
I remember how you cherished that monocle and keep it right here in this mahogany box on the fireplace, Holmes. I say it's so rare that you afford me a peep into your family situation, Holmes. I've been tempted to peek into that box myself, but I know you have expressly forbidden it.
And indeed, I have booby-trapped it, so if you were to open it, it would be a quite ugly surprise. Poison frog darts.
What was the woman's name, Holmes, who poisoned those frogs?
Her name was Dahlia.
Ah, yes, that's right. And her last name?
Dahlia?
Dahlia.
No, Watson. Allow me to finish my thought. Her name had such a melodious ring to it that I like to say it complete. If you ask me for her last name, I shall give you her first as well. Her name was Dahlia Downberry.
Dahlia Downberry, yes, of course. Well, I'll tell you why I was in my mind, Holmes. It appears that she is finally out of prison.
Oh dear.
Why, Holmes, surely we have nothing to fear of her any longer.
She did quite a bit of complaining to the barrister, who was a personal friend of mine, that when she came out, she would personally find us of 221B Baker Street and beat us about the head and neck with a feather duster.
Really, Holmes, you assume she holds a grudge all this time?
Watson, the heart of a criminal can be like the strongest safe in any London bank. There within it locks its petty grievances to fester and foul until the day it is oped and the spewing putrescence falls forth and casts its malignant, odiferous nature upon the land.
And one wonders why I love him.
But Watson, enough about this. What about you? I see that you've recently returned from... the brothel. What were you doing at the brothel?
Oh, you know, tobacco.
Tobacco.
All right, I'll come clean, Holmes. I was at the brothel because occasionally, yes, very occasionally, I seek comfort there.
Watson, you know I'm not a moral man. Not in that sense of morality. I would not judge you for this.
Oh, Holmes, it's just been so long since my dear wife Maddie died, and I'm afraid I have not yet come to terms with my grief at having lost her.
I know that you have, and that is why I bought you a little present. That's right, Watson. I thought that you might enjoy this wooden desk.
Why, I didn't even notice it there!
It's more like a table, but you can write upon it if you like.
It's absolutely beautiful, Holmes. Well, I appreciate it, but I'm afraid that once a heart has been broken, in my case, Holmes, it stays broken for good. You! Knock on the door, Holmes.
Come on! Holmes! Which one of you is Holmes? You Holmes! You Holmes?
Sherlock Holmes, at your service.
Bernard Sampson.
His name was Bernard Sampson, and he was much like a Saint Bernard, both in bearing, stature, and manners. He barged into the house and, like a dog, began sniffing this and that.
Watson, put me in a goddamn chair, drink and light my cigar, goddammit!
He said, sniffing. My good sir, what does this mean to be barging into our house like this? Holmes, you know this ruffian.
No, but I think with just a bit of inference, I do know quite a lot about him. It's clear from his accent that he is from the colonies. And it is also clear that he has recently happened upon a church.
A church? Why, I wouldn't imagine this man has been anywhere near the doors of a church in a good fortnight or more.
Yes, he has.
Yes, I have. How did you know that?
And at that church he found an umbrella.
That's right. How the hell did you know that, Holmes?
Why, my good man, it's elementary. For you see, you didn't just happen upon any church. You went to the one just down the way. And I know that church just down the way likes to infuse the holy water with a peculiar brand of herb. That herb is rosemary and thyme, tied together with a sprig of lavender. That gives it an essence of which I can smell sprinkled about your shoulders. The umbrella, sir, you left upon the doorstep. I heard it clattering as it fell. It is about yea high, made with an ivory handle imported from Asia, not the African elephant variety.
I'm quite impressed with you, Holmes. And it takes a lot to impress Bernard Sampson, that's for damn sure.
Well, I am the world's foremost consulting detective, sir.
And who's this guy, your butler?
This is my associate, Dr. John Watson.
Doctor, what, are you sick? Who
No.
makes a 12 midnight house call here?
When you deal with the criminal underbelly of London, sometimes the daft hand of one trained in the medical arts is necessary. Plus, he's handy with a revolver.
Interesting. So,
What brings you here, Mr. Sampson? Surely you didn't barge in demanding drink and a smoke. You look like a man perturbed. May we help you with something? I presume you have a problem with which the regular Scotland Yard is of no use.
first pour in my drink and I'll get to it. Come on, don't just stand there and enjoy the view. Give me a drink here.
Damn it, Holmes, I'm a doctor, not a bartender!
My apologies, Watson. It's just been such a terribly boring week. This man
Yeah?
poses to have an interesting tale.
Maybe I could break your monotony. I found this letter on my daughter's pillow. It's a ransom note.
So your daughter has been kidnapped, Mr. Sampson.
She has. And they want 50,000 pounds. You're some a rich man. You might have heard of the Bernard Sampson B.S. Steele.
Of course I've heard of your B.S. Steele, sir.
That's why I'm here in England. It's going to make a deal with the Duke Tom of Earl. Gonna import steel from the United States here. Everything here is made of brick and wood. Gotta give you a good, strong American backbone.
And you traveled here with your daughter?
My daughter's been here for 2 years studying at Oxford. She's getting a degree in law. She's the smartest Sampson there is.
A woman getting a degree in law.
That's right.
It's a new age.
A new age indeed. Things are changing. And I'm getting older here and I need someone to take over my business. I got a son, but God bless him, I love the kid, but he's as dumb as a mosquito trying to suck blood off a turtle shell.
That does sound rather unintelligent, sir.
But my daughter, Bernardino Sampson.
Bernardina Sampson.
That's right. She's been here for 2 years, like I said, and we have a correspondence every month. She is as timely as a rising sun, I tell you. Chip off the old block.
So, sir, your daughter, recently kidnapped. A letter upon her pillow you found.
Yes, the story begins about a month ago. I came here because she sent me to know that she's going to marry a fine young man.
Please, tell us all about it.
She invited me to the young man's house. Sweetie.
Oh, Father, it is so good to see
So
you.
wonderful to see you. It's been
How is home? How are the Americas?
they're as great as they can be. Your brother, well, anyway, he heard he was going to be at Oxford, and he tried to give me these cowbells. I said, what are these for, son? He said, well, if she wants to work with oxes, then, I said, no, son, it's a school where she goes to learn things. He still doesn't get it in his mind.
Oh, sweet Benny. Father, I would like you to meet Philip.
Philip.
Oh, Mr. Sampson, was it? Yes.
Yes, Bernard Sampson,
It
Philip.
was a pleasure to meet you.
You got a good firm handshake there. I like that man.
Yes.
Philip is my study partner in law school.
All right, son, that's good.
Yes.
He's my study partner in law school, and we've spent many long nights memorizing law together, doing law things. Law.
Philip, what's your family's name?
Philip Masterson.
Masterson, that's right. I heard a lot of great things about you in my daughter's letters.
Yes, of course. Well, we are here with a very particular purpose, mister.
Yes, we are, Father.
I am here to ask you, sir, for your beautiful, smart, independent daughter, her hand in marriage.
Really?
And we would like your blessing, Father.
I have to be honest with you, sweetie. I just met you. I mean, nothing against you, Val, but yeah, I do trust your judgment, though.
Oh, and Father, he is as strong as your sturdy steel beams that you're using to build skyscrapers in New York City. Look at him. He's strong, and his moral fiber matches that.
Mr. Sampson, forgive my interruption. Suffice it to say that you did not approve of this wedding. That remains obvious because you wanted her to become the heir of your fortune, B.S. Steele. And as such, she could not wed another man, or else you would become B.S. Masterson Steele.
That's correct, sir.
Some English bloke running your steel company. I can't imagine that sat well with you.
It did not sit with me at all. You're very astute. Now, I don't mean to be rude, but I will not allow this marriage to happen. I'm sorry,
Father, but
sweetheart.
why? Is this because of your company? You would rather have your company be of more importance than your daughter's happiness? Just because you want me as an heir instead of Bernie? Bernie can do it. Just draw faces on the steel.
Bernie can't! Bernie is as useless as a three-legged mule. You know that. Listen, ever since your mother died, I know things have been hard. And yes, I admit, my whole focus was on the company. But now my focus is on you. My objective is for my family to be taken care of. For the legacy that I've had to burn on the fifth Samson here.
Mr. Sampson, I understand your concerns. Now, I want you to know that once our families are united, and your company, of course, cannot be carried on by your son, our son or daughter will carry on the name.
We'll still keep the name alive, Father. Nothing will lie. Nothing will die.
Not Mr.
I will not allow this, I said. You will obey your father's words. There's something else I didn't tell you. I'm going to run for president next term. That's right.
But Father, how will you have enough bribery money to make that happen?
I have saved up, and that's why I want you to run the company while I run for president.
Oh, Father, this is all too much. First you told me it was okay for me to pursue my dreams of being a lawyer. You told me I could go to Oxford.
Yes.
You knew that if I became a lawyer, I may not take over the company. You knew that, Father. And now all I am to you is a thing that can run your company. Oh, I will not do it, Father. I'm a person with a heart. And just because I'm a woman, I'm a person with a heart, and I'm going to marry the person that I love, and you can stuff your company!
I can't believe I'm here. I cannot believe this. After all I've done for you. After all this family's been through.
You did not get me into law school. It was me. You did not get half of the bribery things to be Senate person. That was me. I've done more for you than you've done for me, Father. You simply supplied the seed, and I did everything on my own. If you will not support me being independent, then I do not want to be a part of this family. I will happily be a Masterson, and I'll just take all the secret steel recipes and patents with me.
I didn't know they were called recipes.
We call them recipes. It's our family trademark.
But we'll see about that. We'll see about that.
Now, my dear, I believe we have expended our welcome here.
Then I left. I stormed out of that place. I couldn't believe what the hell I was hearing. I had my whole ad campaign set up. BS! The backbone of America! So I left. My mind was just in a flurry of anger and confusion. How could my daughter betray our family like this? There had to be something more. I just felt it in my heart. I did not like the look on that boy's face, I tell you. So I went home that night. I was renting a beautiful mansion, actually, right in the middle of London.
Of course. It must be that mansion that's down near the butcher shop on 3rd Street.
How the hell did you know that?
Watson, please, employ a little bit of the deductive reasoning that I've been using in front of you for years. If you look at this man's boots, you can see the offal of several cattle strapping about the bottoms of his shoes. That's right. Offal's another name for guts, Watson. That's cattle guts he's been wading through. And I can tell this is a man who likes to walk, even though it's knee-deep in horse crap out on London Street. Horse crap and cattle offal. Butcher shop on 3rd Street.
That's right. Anyway, so I went back home, and I was greeted by someone unexpected. Mildred.
Yes.
Didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I live here, so why did not you expect me?
Well, thought I'd rented this place alone, and maybe you might be asleep or doing whatever it is that you do. You want to have a seat with me? I'm going to have a drink. I need one.
I think I need one as well. So, what have you been up to? What no good philandering messes have you gotten yourself into now, my nephew? I'm speaking to you, and I am your elder.
I'm sorry, Mildred. My mind's just...
You may speak to me with more respect as aunt.
Bernardina says she doesn't want to be part of this family business anymore. She's going to marry some English bloke. I'm not going to have no foreigner run my business. That's for damn sure.
And you need to come to me to remedy this problem?
You remedied the problems before? I know that my family line does tie into this country, and maybe I'm being a little hypocritical, but damn it, the Sampsons broke away, and we built our foundation on our own.
You need to get your daughter in line. She is your problem, not mine.
Listen to me, Mildred. I'm not going to have the past of our family ruin the work that I've done now. I don't even want to be in this place, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's right. You keep looking. You know what I'm talking about.
I believe that you're being rather dangerous in your conversation at this moment, Bernard.
Dangerous?
It sounded like a threat to our family.
I don't make threats. I make promises. You're going to help me do this. If my business and my life in America goes down, I swear that I'll make this life here go down as well. 2 families. You got to get my daughter back in line.
Well, what exactly did you expect her to do, sir?
Well, you see, my family, like I said earlier, does hail from London. We broke away about 4 generations ago.
It was then that he told us the horrible plan he employed his aunt to undertake.
She was supposed to find the frogs. You see, we were a business of producing different types of amphibians.
In addition to the steel.
For cattle feed. This is before I got into the steel business, sir. We were using frogs for cattle feed, but they were multiplying fast enough, so they started to implement different types of chemicals into the frogs and multiply faster and faster, but it started poisoning the people. And it was my family that started the plague. The plague that killed hundreds, if not thousands, of Europeans.
Are you telling me that you wanted your aunt to infect that young man with the plague?
You're damn right I did. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I need that boy gone. Then my daughter should be lifted from that spell of his and come to her goddamn senses.
Sir, you are speaking of the bubonic plague, the black plague, the black death?
Yes, yes, and yes.
The frog variety.
The frog variety. The most dangerous type.
The green plague, then.
Yes. So, I invited a few of my family members for dinner that night.
Hello, father-in-law, Bernie and I had such a nice day at the park, didn't we?
We did.
He's really not as stupid as he looks.
Sit down.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I've been working on my London accent.
He's doing really well at
Well,
it.
let's hear it, Bert.
Biscuits! Hello, biscuits!
Bernie, I love you.
Hello, biscuits!
I
That's
bet
pretty good.
so.
That's pretty good. Just then, Aunt Mildred came in. Ah, you all say hello to your Aunt Mildred.
Hello.
Hi, Aunt Mildred.
Hello, hello, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Oh, you're sitting as you as ever.
Bernie likes biscuits.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Bernie.
You're such a good boy. Actually, I need to talk to Bernie real quick. Bernie, come on over here.
You're talking to me finally?
Listen, there's something really important I need you to do for me, okay? Your sister and her new fella. You met them, right?
Yeah, I did, Pa.
Well, they really like you. I'm sure they do. You're a good kid.
They like me?
Everyone likes you. You're a sweet boy.
Oh, gee, okay.
They're going to be at the Opera House tonight.
Oh, the opera?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
I got you a ticket to go down there. I want you to meet up with them. All right?
Okay.
And if you can pull the boy away from her, that would be a great thing. And meet me down at the lobby with them. Make up a story. Tell him something like, I want to show you something.
Once upon a time, there was a duck.
No, not that kind of story. No. Tell him you need his help. You need his help for something down at the lobby. A gift you want to give your sister. How about that?
Mr. Masterson, there's a duck downstairs. I want to give it to my sister.
Don't tell him what the gift is. Just tell him it's a gift, okay? It's a secret between you and me. Shh, okay? Let's practice. Shh. Don't tell him. You see, now I was trying to get my son to bring him away.
So that's where you had hoped your aunt would slip him the evil concoction that would give him the plague.
Yes, that's right.
My friend, take us directly to that moment in your tale.
So, okay, son.
Oh, I quite did enjoy Rigoletto. It
Yeah.
was so wonderful.
I never knew Rigoletto could hit his falsetto so well.
There they are. Okay, just bring him out to the lobby. Do what you do.
Oh, Bernie, my pet, how are you? Look what I have for you in my pocket because I sent them in. It's a biscuit.
It's from both of us.
We got it for you, Bernie.
You shouldn't have. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna keep this.
Why ever are you here? We didn't see you in our family's private box.
Yes.
You had a private box?
Yes, we've had one for quite some time.
I don't believe he knew that yet.
Oh. Anyway,
So-
why ever are you here?
Oh, I need to talk to Master Son, Mr. Masterson.
Oh, Philip, yes.
Yes,
Of course,
yes.
Benny, how can I help you?
I need to take you to the pond downstairs, for an important, thing.
Want
Yes.
to take me to the pond downstairs? for
We'll
an
be
appointment.
right back.
I shall be back after I investigate this pond.
Do be careful. We are meeting people for coffee.
Yes, of course. I shall be back soon.
Just as they were coming down the stairs, a woman approached Masterson, a woman I had never met before, and they had a very disturbing conversation regarding my daughter. And I overheard them before I leaped forth.
You say?
Mr. Masterson,
Yes.
come, quickly.
What are you doing there?
Am I invited?
Oh, Bernie, please, do enjoy the hors d'oeuvres.
Quickly, over here. You are in grave, grave danger.
I told you never to show your face.
Darling, you visit me at the brothel, but I need to tell you something. The frogs that we use as an aphrodisiac are also the plague.
And then that's when she said something directly relating to my daughter's well-being.
whatever does that have to do with me, the Duchess?
Because the frog slime is being used as poison. You are in grave danger, as is Mrs. Sampson. Miss Sampson.
Are you threatening her?
No, I am not threatening her. It is the family. They are trying to get rid of you.
But the warning came too late. Matilda was there. She stood up. The aunt.
Hello. Meredith,
Yes.
you may take my hand and kiss it as would be appropriate. Yes, I have a biscuit. Here. Oh, Philip! Philip! Whatever is wrong? Is it your cravat?
I know this sickness. It's the green plague.
Whatever! Dear
Aunt
Mildred! Yes. Unfortunately, your father was unable to do what he needed to do in raising you to be an appropriate young woman, so I had to put this slime of the frog on my hand and oh, damn that hurt! Not only there! I may miss once, but I don't miss twice. And I'm sorry about the bleeding. No, you're not! You're right, I'm not. Why did you kill my Philip? Because you are out of control and do not touch my fan!
Stop it! Stop it!
Oh, wait! Don't despair!
In all of the annals of medicine, there is no death more gruesome than the death of the green plague. Shortly after being infected, the face swells. The limbs immediately rigor morte. The entire body is propelled through residual electrical impulses into the air. Frog-like, the throat expands. And suddenly, ooze of various viscosity pours forth from all the pores at once. Until the body begins to rot and corrode.
My love! You!
But you see, there is an antidote. We need to get him out of here quickly.
And yet, just by touching him, she caught the plague herself. Her cheeks began to expand. Her limbs immediately to rigor morte. She leapt in... Well, she stayed like that for just a moment longer. Then she leapt into the air! Her throat expanded frog-like, and the oozing began. Until her body began to corrode and decay.
It was a disgusting sight, Mr. Holmes.
Really? Do tell us about it.
It was more than I could bear, and I never imagined the death would be so gruesome. So I quickly ran away.
You see, Watson? I told you when I read in the papers that the opera house had burned down, that something strange was afoot. Clearly, they burned the place to the ground to render it clean.
Wow.
Thus, the spreading of the disease was kept contained.
Father-in-law, I'm so worried. You've been putting Bernie up to all of these evil things, and yet he is the rightful heir to your steel. He's smarter than you think, father-in-law.
Ribbit!
See, when I gave him the command of frog, he knew exactly what to do.
He can't take over the business. He can't do anything right. Listen, I'm not trying to be mean to the boy, but reality's reality. I need my daughter.
Your daughter is nothing. Do you know what she does when she's at Oxford? She sleeps with men like Masterman, or whatever his name is.
You're a liar!
No, I'm not. It's not just that. She doesn't care about your business, but Bernie does.
I could be a frog, Father.
Really? Really?
Okay, enough,
Look at the boy!
Bernie, say the thing I taught you about the business.
The plans are available for purchasing.
See? How good that was.
That's when my daughter burst in. I've never seen her so angry before.
Father! Does everybody in your family hit one another?
It's a Texan thing.
I'll bet you are regretting teaching all of your children and family members in martial arts and violence training. I'm so disgraced and disgusted. Did you think that if I witnessed the terrible death of my dear Philip and whoever that strange lady was, that I would want, that I would desire to be a part of this terrible company? Nay! I am out! I am done! And I've already sold the plans and the recipes to your top competitor.
You did not.
Yes, I have.
How dare you!
I'll do it again, Father, but yet...
You're taking away your brother's inheritance.
Don't touch me, Sly.
You destroyed your family.
You have destroyed your family, Father. For something such as this, trying to keep me, you pushed me away. How foolhardy of you. I'm disgusted by this family. I've been disgusted about the way you've treated Bernie all these years, but this, the way you treat my Philip, just to keep me, really shows me your true colors, Father. The plans have already been sold. The recipes have already been procured. This family will fall. And frankly, I don't give a damn.
You will meet your fate.
As will you. The more longer you stay attached to this family, the more destined you are for doom. Bernie, you must come with me. You are but such a simple, pure-hearted mind.
You're not going to take my son away.
You can become my son. The papers
You
are...
get the hell out of here!
Mr. Sampson, clearly you did not let her leave the premises, or else how would she then be kidnapped from your domicile? So tell me, with your daughter in such a fit of rage, how did you corral her, that's what you Texans would say, how did you corral her into her former rooms and keep her there?
I told her that I'm the one that's going to be leaving.
I got the lasso, Dad.
Nah, we don't. Thank you, son. Not necessary. Not necessary. You just destroyed everything that we've worked for all these years. And your poor dead mother, shoot, turning over in her grave right now as we speak.
Oh, no, Father.
Oh, yes.
She would be most disappointed in you. In fact, I do have the deeds to this house, so I believe you should be the one that's leaving.
Don't worry. I was on my way out the door.
You
That's when I
despise me.
left. That's when I left. I actually felt as guilty as I've ever felt in my life before. I didn't know what the hell I did. I didn't know anything was going on right anymore. So I went for a long walk.
So how did you know that she stayed then?
Well, she told me she was going to stay.
Ah,
It was her place. She had the deed to the house.
I'm surprised you missed that one, Holmes.
Sorry, sometimes in my ramblings I can be a little bit indecisive. And incoherent.
Poor man's coming apart.
So I went for a long walk, and I ran into Mildred again. Well, you sure did muck things up there.
I did exactly what I meant to do. Bernard is out of the way.
Now it has to be undone.
What is with you? I do what you want me to do,
Listen.
and then you are upset.
I made
I
a
feel
mistake!
like slapping
I
you.
made a mistake! Bernard,
I'm beginning to think that your other son has more to give to this family than you do. In fact, I'm very much considering giving the rest of the family fortune and frog production warehouse to your daughter-in-law, for she seems to be the only one who knows what she's doing in this family.
So everyone's going to betray Bernard Sampson, the fifth. I guess the long line of BS goes deep, forward and back.
Within you, my dear nephew.
I had to run back. I had to run back to the house and beg with all that I am for forgiveness from my daughter.
And that's when you discovered her to be missing.
And that's when I discovered her to be missing. Bernardina! Bernardina, what?
Pa, she's gone.
Where is she? What do you mean she's gone? Bernard, I'm sorry. What's wrong? Bernardina, where are you? What do you mean she's gone? Where is she? Let's take her to her room now.
Why, Pa, I was taking my bath with my ducky, and I got out and I went to her room to get my favorite dress that I like wearing, and she wasn't there. And there was that note, and you know how I can't read good.
She's gone. I don't understand. Who would take her? What am I going to do? I've ruined everything.
I'm sorry, Pa.
It's not your fault. Now I'm here. I should probably give this to you now. See if you find any clues or whatnot. I just want to set things right. Back to how they were.
Is this the cravat that was infected with the green plague?
Don't worry about it. Didn't get any on that.
Watson?
It's fine. You gotta help me, Holmes. You gotta help me.
It's an interesting case. I can see your grief runs deep and true. If it weren't for that, I'd call Scotland Yard immediately, you being a self-confessed murderer. I probably should, indeed.
I'll take any punishment that comes my way, but I want my family to be safe.
We will deal with that once all the pieces of the puzzle have been fit together to form the picture that they will.
Probably will.
All right, Mr. Sampson. This kind of case intrigues me.
That was astonishing, Holmes!
Occasionally, jackets need to be fluffed up with a It's wool. Your case intrigues me, sir. A family torn apart by idiocy. Lovers not allowed to join together, even though the union seems perfectly acceptable. My good man, I shall take your case.